A class is nothing more than a template or a blueprint of a kind of object that you want to create. Now, this isn't true for all languages. If you come from other languages that are very loose, like JavaScript or PHP or whatever, you might be thinking that, well, I can just, create objects and do whatever I want with those objects. In C# that isn't the case. In C#, you have to explicitly define the template of a object before you can use an object. And right here what I've done is I've created a template for product objects, and I've called it product, and it is a class. Remember, classes are a template that define what kind of object or how that object behaves when I create it. So if I click on the word product, Visual Studio highlights every instance that this type is used in my program, and we see quite a few of them. The first one is I create a list of product. Now the list of product behaves just like a list of int or a list of string, except for the type of data that this list contains is now a user-defined class. Now you'll see another example of a product. Notice right here on line 19, I instantiate a product. What happens right here? Well, what happens here on line 19 is I create a new object, and I'm naming that object product1. But most importantly, I'm giving the type of the object, I'm telling the type of the object to be product, and I'm telling the value of product1 to be a new instantiation of a product object. So, in this case, I am using the blueprint. This is executable code. Whereas a blueprint in itself doesn't do anything until you manufacture something with the blueprint. A class doesn't do anything until you instantiate an object using that blueprint. You can sort of think of it like, if I have the plans to build a car, that's not going to make a car magically appear. But once I have those plans in my hand, I can then create concrete cars, and as many of them as I want until I run out of resources. And the same is true with classes. We create a class up here. It doesn't do anything, but it does allow me at some point later on down the road in my program to create specific objects of that type.